Hey, everybody. So this is the first 2020 team training, and I'm excited that we are going to be talking about goal setting systems. So it is 2020. It's a brand new year, and this is the time of year when we all start thinking about our goals and the things that we want to change. We've reflected on the year before, and we are coming up with our resolutions and our goals. And I don't know about you, but in the past, I have struggled to actually achieve a lot of goals I set for myself. So there's a few ways of doing things, and one of them is through vision boards. Now, vision boards are awesome because it keeps your goals at the forefront of your brain, but it doesn't actually do the goal achieving. So just because you put a picture on a poster board doesn't mean that you're going to achieve that goal. When you put a picture on a poster board, what it does is it makes the dream, be at the forefront of your brain. But in order to turn a dream into a goal that you can achieve, you have to put action to it. So we'll talk a little bit about vision boards, and then we'll talk a bit about a goal setting system that you can implement with your goals so that you can actually achieve them and not fall into the 25 or 85% of people who lose their ambition and stop working towards their goals in February, like a month after the new year starts. So I wanted to show you my vision board. We all got together, those local in Louisville got together, and we made these awesome vision boards. There's things on here. Mine's pretty packed, I realized, and I think I kind of want to make another one that's not so packed and maybe has some more white space. But in here, like, things I really want is I want a new office space. I really want to break my sugar habit. That's kind of a big deal. I have something sugary every day. I want to exercise more. I would like some patio furniture and like a play structure in my backyard. So those are some like financial goals that, my Color Street funds can pay for. My word for the year is intentional. And I just have, some other goals on here. Each picture on here is something to remind me of a goal or resolution I have. Like this picture of a heart, this heartbeat right here. This is to remind me to stay calm and not let my heart race when my kids are having tantrums, things like that. So everything on here, like I have a picture of a cruise ship and a beach because I want to go on a cruise with my family again this year. So I have these goals, but I also, this is a big one. I want my daughter to eat more and not be so picky. So it's fun to make these vision boards. I also have these books, like I want to read more. So it's fun to make these vision boards, but if you make a vision board and then you just like set it aside, you basically ended up just having like a fun little craft night, and you're not using it for what you could and should be using it for. So when you make a vision board, you need to also do goal setting alongside with it. And so I realized that was something I actually didn't do when I made this vision board. I was kind of just like chit-chatting, having a girls' night. But then as I've been looking at it, I'm like, actually, I need to like really set some goals to this. And so I kind of started thinking, when I've set goals in the past, I've really struggled with having like a way to actually achieve them. And I think that's what happens to a lot of us is we set these goals, but then we don't come up with a system on how to actually achieve them. And we don't put in the time or effort to actually go for them and stay consistent. And anyway, so I kind of thought and did a lot of research about goal setting and like, how can we turn this into an awesome, system that for success. So when I set a goal, I can actually achieve it. And so, so the biggest thing is, we'll start with, okay, I have 2 goals this year that I want to achieve. One of them is I want to read 12 books in a year, 12 personal development books. And then I also want to make 52 YouTube videos, so 1 a week. And I really want to grow my YouTube channel. So basically, here's kind of the difference. The other thing I want to do is be consistent in my morning routine, menu planning with my family, and in my daily power hour. So you have these goals like that, you know, and if you just say, this is a goal I have this year, and you just put it on your vision board and you put your vision board in your closet or in your garage or someplace where you're going to see it every day, and you see the words like 50 YouTube videos, you know, yes, it's going to remind you that you want to do 50 YouTube videos this year. So that's the great thing about vision boards is you put it somewhere you can see it and you're consistently daily reminded of your goals for the year, and it puts it at the forefront of your brain, so you're constantly looking at it and watching it, which is awesome. But again, a goal without action is just a dream. And so you have to come up with the steps for you to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So let's take some examples and we'll break it down with this system. So the biggest thing is you want your goal to be something that's actually realistic. So maybe on your vision board, there's going to be some things that you're not going to achieve for years and years. Like on my vision board, I put $1 million. Like, I'm not making that this year, you know, maybe one day I'll make that, you know, so that's not a goal. So what you want to do is you want to take all the stuff that you put on your vision board and see, what can I realistically focus on this year? You know, so like I can realistically read 12 books this year. I can realistically do that. So in order for me to achieve it, I need to kind of break it down into steps. So reading 12 books is an easy one to break down into steps because there's 12 months in a year. That means I read one book a month. So what that means is instead of just saying, I'm going to read 12 books this year, what I do is I can write out, okay, there's 12 books. Here are a bunch of books I want to read this year. Let me pick, you know, let me pick 12 of them and then assign them to the months that I want to read them in. And then you go even further and you look at how many pages are in your book and you divide it by 30 and you figure out how many pages you actually have to read every day in order for you to read that book in the month. So if you just say like, I'm going to read this book this month, you may or may not do it because if it's not a real page turner or something, if you don't have an actual plan set aside, so you'll have to say maybe it's, I need to read 10 pages a day. When am I going to have time to read that? You know, it's maybe 30 minutes before I go to bed, I can read 10 pages. So that's what you have to do when it comes to like planning out your goals, is actually come up with a system and then give yourself milestones or achievements. So like I make sticker charts for my kids all the time and they love it. They love filling in a sticker. You can do the same sort of thing. Or like for our, this is something that totally motivates me for the Cancun trip that we have. Somebody made this awesome, like, fill it in thing. And this is something I'm not everyone's motivated by the same things, but I'm motivated by making little charts like this and checking off my progress. I keep this in my binder, and then at the end of every month, I can like check off and I can look in the middle of the month and assess and like see where I'm at. You can do the same thing if you had 12 books, you know, that you wanted to read. You could do the same thing. You can make a chart that had 12 boxes and like write in the books that you're going to read and then check them off as you go. And you could even have like milestones, like at book 4 or like book 3, when you're a quarter of the way done, you know, you can celebrate. So breaking it up into steps and having a way that you can kind of have small celebrations along the way really, really helps with achieving your goals. So let's look at like another one. So I want to do 50 YouTube videos this year. So if that's something that I want to do, I can't just throw out into the universe, I want to do 50 YouTube videos. I need to actually make a plan. And so is 50 realistic? Yes, it is. I can probably do one video a week. Like I'm doing one right now. After this, I'll record it. I'll throw it up on YouTube. So the way that I figure, okay, how can I successfully do 50 YouTube videos a year? Well, I could, you know, one sure way that I could do it is by having a team training every week and being consistent with that. And so what I do then is it's like, okay, I need to pick a time every week that I'm going to record this video. And then and then make sure that I have time after the video is over to upload it to YouTube. So when is that going to work for me? Well, Tuesday afternoons, Millie is napping and Audrey's at school. It's a great time for me to, I have time that I can hop on and do a video. So, and then I can even make a checkbox of 50 videos. Every time I do one, I can check a box off and I can track my progress throughout the year, and make sure that I'm on track. So, there's other goals though that we have with ourselves that sometimes it's harder to see how we can be, how we can actually achieve them because they might seem a little bit vague. So like a goal that I have that's like that this year is to be more consistent. And so like I really want to be consistent in my morning routine because I know that the mornings that I do morning routine, I have happier and better and more productive days. I want to be more consistent in menu planning and having family dinner because I know that when I have family dinner, my family is closer and we have happier and less stressful evenings. And I really want to be consistent at my power hour because I know when I do my power hour, my business flourishes. So it seems kind of like this vague goal, like I just want to be more consistent this year. Well, I can turn that goal into like a more specific goal by making sure that I have like check-in times. So like every Sunday I can do a planning meeting where I can look over my week, I can plan my days, I can plan my menu on Sundays, and look at the schedule, make sure I can wake up and go to bed early enough during the week. And you all should have gotten this in the mail. And if you don't have one, you can, where's my notebook? Oh, if you don't have one, we have it in the files. You can print it off. But everyone on the team has one of these. It's our power hour and it's laminated. And then on the back are these SMART goals. So, and if you haven't heard what SMART stands for, it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So when you're setting your goals for yourself, you want to make sure that, your goals kind of meet all these requirements. So when I have a goal to be more consistent with this power hour, sometimes you kind of have to make it like a game for yourself or come up even with a reward or accomplishing like a milestone. So say I want to do this for a month. So you can break it down into like months at a time, and then just take 1 year at a time, or 1 year at a time. Take 1 month at a time, 1 week at a time. And then before you know it, it's been a year and maybe you've been consistent the whole time. So, having little charts like this power hour, having this keeps me on track when I pull it out. And one time I'm actually going to do a video of me doing my power hour to show you how a power hour can be done in an hour. But anyway, I'm going to having this chart really helps keep me on track during the time, of when I'm actually working and taking action on my goals. So while you can have like bigger goals that you have for the whole year, like I want to make 50 YouTube videos, I want to read 12 books, I want to be more consistent, all that. But of course you obviously have like monetary goals and rank goals that you want to hit with Color Street. And so that's kind of where this comes in. So when it comes to achieving a rank, I highly recommend focusing on one goal one rank at a time. And something that I really love are these rank trackers, which you can also find in the file section. And what I did was I printed out all of them. Let's see. I printed out all of them and I started with my first rank. So like I'm a director right now. And so this is, my chart as a director. And so what I've done after that is I've printed out like the senior director and the executive director and, senior executive. So, but I try not to look more than like two ranks ahead, because realistically you can say, I want to be a national executive, but there's a long way to go till you get there, you know? And so, I recommend looking just one rank ahead and focusing on that one rank and seeing what you have to do to get to that one rank, you know? So, and I absolutely love our Circle of Excellence promo or incentive that they're doing to get people to sell 1,000 in a month and enroll two stylists a month. Which I know the enrolling thing, it sounds kind of daunting to enroll 2 a month, but I really think with the new party template, it's totally possible. So anyway, when you make your rank goals, just focus on the next rank and then what steps do you have to do to get to that rank. And honestly, it's already all been broken down for you in the Power Hour. I can seriously attest to this Power Hour. When I have focused on it, my business has grown, especially with the new party template that our team has. So, and with the new training that we have, as new stylists are coming in, they're starting to take that training, and they're doing better and sticking around as well. So when it comes to, so rank goals are always kind of hard though, because it's like, you know, you want to recruit, but then it's kind of hard because you never really know when or where a recruit's going to come from. You can't just say like, I mean, you can say, I'm going to recruit someone today, but you just never know like where your recruits are going to come from. And so one thing that I highly recommend changing, especially when it comes to goal setting for recruiting, is changing your mindset. A lot of people don't recruit because they'll say, I don't believe I can do this. Like, I don't think I can recruit, you know? And when you actually change your mindset, it's just kind of amazing what starts to change. You know, when you say something like, I'm really good at recruiting, or I'm a recruiting killer, I don't know. You know, think of something that you can say about yourself that's really, really positive. That is like, I'm a really good recruiter. I'm good at it, you know? And it's one of those things where your thoughts become, you know, like your words become reality. And so when you say something in the present tense, it like there's power in it. And I think there's science behind that. So anyway, when it comes to recruiting, definitely change your mindset. But then when it comes to sales, that's a lot easier to like break down into smaller steps. So say like, I want to do 2,400 in a month so I can get the 35% commission. Well, when you break that down, that's 8 parties that hit 300. So you have to kind of look at your personal parties and sales and break it down. When I have a party, what's the average that they reach? How many parties do I need to have a month in order to get those sales? Okay, so I need to have like 8 parties a month. Well, that means I need 8 hostesses. How many people do I have to talk to get 8 hostesses, you know? And so, and maybe it is a numbers game, or maybe you talk to more people to get that many hostesses. But if you have that goal, you know, then you can really go for no and, you know, work to achieve it more. So, okay, so that's kind of all I have on goal setting. Essentially, the things you really want to do are make sure it's realistic and is something that you can actually attain in the year. Have monthly and or weekly check-ins with your goal, depending on what the goal is, and break it down into steps and milestones. So break your goal down into steps. You have to kind of reverse engineer it, and you start with the end in mind and then break it down so you know, like, okay, just like with that reading goal, I want to read 12 books. Okay, in order for me to read 12 books, I need to know what books I'm going to read, when I'm going to read it, how much I need to read a day, you know? So you have to do all that extra work in order for you to actually, you know, accomplish the goal. So, okay, that's all I got for you today. I hope that was helpful. If you have any topics that you'd like talked about in a team training, please let me know. And I hope you guys are all having a great start to January. Okay, bye.